Hi, I'm Jilly G. Welcome to my kitchen. Today I'm going to show you an appetizer, but it also works really good kind of as a side dish, finger food. But first, I just want to say thank you to everybody for the last year. This has been a really great year for me. It's been so much fun to share all of my recipes with you. It's not quite a full year of when I started posting my first videos, but it's getting close. And I couldn't do it without you. And so thank you so much for all of you that watch my videos and have subscribed, and everybody that comments and makes my recipes. Thank you so much. This channel wouldn't be what it is without you. And again, thank you to my patrons. Also, it wouldn't be what it is without you guys. And I appreciate all of you. Thank you so much for sharing in this last year with me. And maybe you will make this recipe for your New Year get together. But anyways, this is fiddle with things. This is my spinach and kale artichoke dip. And you can use whatever you want. You don't even have to use spinach or kale. You could just do the artichoke hearts. I have, a handful of spinach that I didn't finish when I was making another recipe. And I just put it in the freezer, just like this, and it's ready to go. And I have a couple of really big bunches of kale, which I know it looks like a lot, but once we start trimming it down, it will get smaller. And my oven is preheating to 350. And I haven't washed these yet. What I like to do with greens is I have a salad spinner. And if you don't have a salad spinner, it's a really handy kitchen gadget tool to have. But what I do is I cut my greens up, put it in the strainer basket, wash them really good, shake out any excess water, and then spin it in the rest of the part of this. But I'll show you that. And if you've never bought fresh kale before like this, what you want to do is cut off along the stem. The stem is usually pretty tough, kind of stringy. And if you don't like kale, you could use whatever green that you like. Arugula would be really good, or even just spinach, or again, maybe not even any greens at all. And then I just try to get it into small enough pieces that when you're dipping with a cracker or a chip, it's not going to be a big piece of kale that you have to try to manage around. So I just roughly chop. They cook down anyways, but manageable bite-sized pieces. And I don't know if you've ever chopped greens before, but they're so much easier to chop when they're dry as opposed to when they are wet, which is also why I chop them before I wash them. And if you keep it folded in half and just go along the stem, you get both sides at once. And if you've never tried kale before, I encourage you to try it. It's a really good green. I don't like kale just on the plate by itself unless it's in a salad. But in something like this, it's really good. And I probably won't even use all of this for this recipe. What you're looking for is two large handfuls of kale for this recipe. And then you can save the rest. You could even wash and chop and freeze this for the next time you want to make this. So that's about two largish handfuls of kale. And then I've got probably one handful of spinach. And that doesn't need to be washed or chopped up because it was in the freezer. I'm going to clean up my mess, wash my kale, spin it dry, and then I'll show you the rest of it. So there's our kale, all washed and dried. Set that aside. And set that aside. I also washed my knife and my cutting board because I didn't wash my kale. My spinach is ready right there. So I have 1 can of artichoke hearts. They're already quartered, but I'm going to chop them up as well. And they are not marinated. I know you can get the ones that are marinated, but sometimes it's not a flavor that you want to go in your artichoke dip. And so I get the unmarinated artichoke hearts. And again, I just cut these into bite-sized pieces. And if you've never had a spinach artichoke dip before, or kale and artichoke dip, it's really good. And if you don't like artichokes, you could just do this recipe with the greens and the other ingredients and leave out the artichoke hearts. Once you've got your artichoke hearts all cut up, we can set this aside until we're ready for it. There's our little non-skid cutting board trick. I have 8 ounces of room temperature cream cheese, and I actually think it needs to be a little bit softer just so I can mix in the rest of my ingredients. It doesn't take much. And I don't think I mentioned, this will be gluten-free. Like everything I make, it's always gluten-free. Once you've got your cream cheese kind of spread around a little bit, I have a 7-ounce can of diced green chilies. And I have a 4-ounce can of really hot diced jalapenos. If you're brave and adventurous, you can add in the whole can, but I'm just going to add in, about 2.5 spoonfuls here. Maybe about half the can. And then what I usually do is I'll put this into a separate container and put this in the freezer. And then it is ready for whatever else you want jalapenos for. And then I'm just going to mix around my jalapenos, green chilies, and cream cheese till they're really combined. Once you've got that all combined, I have 1 cup of mayonnaise, 1 cup of sour cream, and I'm just going to mix this till it's really combined. It really doesn't take very much at all. I have about 4 to 6 ounces of shredded Parmesan cheese all in there. Mix that around. You could dump everything in at once, but I like to make sure all of this is mixed together before I start adding in the chunkier stuff. Now for the artichoke hearts. And my bag of frozen spinach that is mostly thawed. And just mix this all together. Now for the kale. And I know it looks like it will never stir together, but it does. Once you've got this all mixed together, I have a foil-lined pizza pan, cookie sheet. If this bubbles over, it just makes a mess. So just to be safe, and I've got about a 1.5 quart casserole dish here that in years past this has all fit. Let's see if it will fit this year. It should. And then I just level it out, smash it in the corners. And even if it looks a little bit full right now, the kale does cook down. If you're going to use a package of frozen spinach, make sure it's thawed and you squeeze it out really well. If you don't squeeze out all of that extra liquid, it will make your dip here pretty runny. There we go. Looks like it fits pretty good. It will puff up a little bit during baking and then sink back down. So this will go in the oven, 350, for about a half hour until it starts to get a little bit golden brown and you can see it bubbling. Smells and looks amazing. And I don't know if you saw, but it did spill over the sides of my pan, and it's already sinking back down, but it did puff up quite a bit. But it looks really good. I usually serve this with some crackers, tortilla chips, whatever you like to dip. You could do vegetables if you wanted to. There's so many different crackers nowadays, especially gluten-free crackers. These ones are actually really good. I'll put a link for these below. But these go really well with this, or just plain tortilla chips. And I know it is really hot, but I'll just dip here in the edge where it might not be as hot. You could even do this in a crock pot, and then it would stay warm while you're having your party or your get-together. But it's such a nice dip. And even though there's jalapenos in there, it's really not too spicy. And it sure looks good too. And it has greens. Greens are always good for you. But it's a perfect appetizer for any get-together. I hope everybody has a safe and happy new year. Thanks for watching. And if you haven't subscribed already, please do. And we'll see you on the next one.